You are not able to stop thinking. Every word, every gesture, every mistake keeps spinning in your mind. You lie awake at night, worrying about things that might happen tomorrow. Your thoughts feel like a cage, and the harder you try to escape, the faster your mind runs. It is time to calm your mind and take back control of your life. This is Stop Overthinking: How to Calm Your Mind, Shift Negative Patterns, and Think with Clarity by Olivia Telford. In this book, you will learn how to break free from the thoughts that keep you stuck. We are going to cover it chapter by chapter, exploring practical techniques, exercises, and insights to calm your mind and think with clarity. By the end, you will have the tools to stop overthinking and take control of your life. Chapter 1: Understanding Overthinking. This chapter will help you understand overthinking. You will learn what it really is, how it traps your mind, and the signs that you are stuck in mental loops. Once you recognize it, you can begin to take control. Overthinking is more than just thinking too much. It is a habit. It is a pattern your mind has learned over time. It affects your decisions, your emotions, and your life. It creates stress and blocks your clarity. Many people think it is normal, but it is not. It is a mental trap. What overthinking really is. Overthinking is when your mind keeps replaying thoughts again and again. It focuses on problems, mistakes, or what-if scenarios. You imagine worst-case outcomes. You worry about what others think. You question your own actions. Your brain is trying to protect you. It wants you to avoid mistakes or danger. But it goes too far. It creates more anxiety than solutions. Instead of helping, it traps you. Overthinking is not intelligence. It is not planning. It is a loop that prevents action. It makes simple decisions hard. It steals your energy. Many people overthink about work problems, relationships, past mistakes, future possibilities, social interactions. When you overthink, your brain cannot focus on the present. It cannot act effectively. It creates confusion. It blocks clarity. How overthinking traps your mind. Overthinking works like a mental cage. It keeps you trapped inside your thoughts. You feel stuck even when nothing is wrong. Here is how it traps you. Rumination. You keep thinking about the same problem again and again. Analysis paralysis. Decisions become impossible because your mind weighs every possible outcome. Negative bias. Your brain focuses on worst-case scenarios and negative possibilities. Self-doubt. You question every choice and action you take. This loop is exhausting. It drains energy and focus. It affects your sleep. It affects your mood. It affects your work and relationships. Even small events can trigger overthinking. A casual comment, a forgotten message, a small mistake at work. Your brain exaggerates the impact. You replay it endlessly. The trap of overthinking is invisible. You do not see it, but it controls you. It shapes your feelings. It controls your actions. Signs you are stuck in mental loops. It is important to recognize the signs. If you notice these, you are likely overthinking. You replay conversations repeatedly in your mind. You cannot make simple decisions quickly. You feel anxious about things that have not happened. You imagine negative outcomes constantly. You feel mentally exhausted at the end of the day. You question your own actions and words. You struggle to focus on the present moment. These signs are common. Millions of people experience them every day. Step by step, Techniques to recognize overthinking. Keycap 1. Awareness. Notice your thoughts. Observe without judgment. Ask yourself, am I solving a problem or just thinking endlessly? Keycap 2. Thought labeling. Say to yourself, this is overthinking. Labeling creates distance. It reminds you thoughts are not facts. Keycap 3. Time limits. Give yourself a short period to think about a problem. Example, 5 minutes. When time is over, move to action or distraction. Keycap 4. Journaling. Write your thoughts down. Seeing them on paper reduces their power. Organize problems versus worries. Keycap 5. Focus on the present. Ask, what can I control right now? Ground yourself in the present moment. Breath slowly. Focus on sensations around you. Motivational reinforcement. You are not your thoughts. Your mind does not define your identity. You can control it. Overthinking is a habit, and habits can be changed. Every small step counts. Awareness, labeling, and grounding slowly free your mind. You can regain clarity, confidence, and control. Real-life example. Imagine this. You made a small mistake at work. Your mind keeps replaying it. Did I sound stupid? Will my boss judge me? You lie awake, thinking every scenario. Now apply the techniques. Notice the thought. Label it. This is overthinking. Ask, can I change this? If not, release it. Focus on present task. Breathe. Act. After a few minutes, you feel lighter. You stop the mental loop. You regain control. Now that you understand what overthinking is, how it traps your mind, and the signs to watch, the next chapter will show why overthinking is unnecessary and how your thoughts are not facts. You will learn how to begin freeing yourself from this mental trap and take the first step toward clarity. Chapter 2. The Cost of Overthinking. Overthinking is not harmless. It is a heavy habit that drains your mind and your energy. The more you dwell, the more trapped you feel. Every thought you replay steals focus and clarity. It affects your mood, sleep, and confidence. It slows decisions and limits progress. It also creates invisible stress in your daily life. Emotionally, overthinking is exhausting. You anticipate problems that may never occur. Small worries grow into big fears. Sleep becomes shallow and nights feel long. Your mind races constantly, even during calm moments. Anxiety increases because the brain exaggerates risks. Every small decision feels heavy and draining. Mentally, overthinking blocks clarity. Your mind repeats loops that prevent action. Simple choices become overwhelming and complicated. You question every decision, word, and action. Your brain consumes energy without producing results. Creativity declines, focus weakens, and thinking slows. Even when you know the answer, hesitation prevents action. Decision fatigue is one of the major costs. Every repeated thought consumes mental energy. Even small choices feel exhausting. Procrastination becomes a habit because the mind is tired. Your focus diminishes and confidence decreases. You delay important tasks or avoid them entirely. Energy spent overthinking reduces progress in work and life. Lost opportunities are another consequence. Every day brings chances to act, to grow, or to connect. Your mind predicts failure, embarrassment, or judgment. You hesitate, and by the time you act, the chance is gone. Regret builds silently, creating stress and self-doubt. Overthinking steals time, opportunities, and potential growth. Even minor delays can have long-term impact on success. Overthinking affects relationships as well. You replay conversations repeatedly in your mind. You question what you said and what others think. Fear of judgment keeps you from expressing yourself fully. Connections weaken and communication suffers. You may avoid speaking openly to prevent imagined mistakes. This creates distance, tension, and insecurity in relationships. Work and career are impacted too. Tasks take longer because every step is overanalyzed. You focus on minor details, trying to be perfect. Projects are delayed because decisions feel risky. Colleagues notice hesitation and confidence diminishes. Opportunities for promotion or recognition may pass unnoticed. Overthinking silently creates barriers that limit professional growth. Physically, overthinking affects the body. Stress hormones increase when thoughts are constant. Muscles remain tense, sleep is shallow, and energy is low. Long-term stress can affect heart, digestion, and immunity. The mind and body are connected, and fatigue follows mental loops. Even small habits, repeated over time, cause strain and tension. Awareness of these effects is crucial for change. Now, let us explore practical steps to reduce the cost of overthinking. Track your thoughts. Write down recurring worries each day. Seeing them on paper reduces their power. Identify patterns and recognize triggers. Set time limits for decisions. Give yourself a short period to analyze a problem. Example: 5 minutes for small decisions, 10 minutes for bigger ones. Commit to action after the time ends. Prioritize tasks. Focus on what matters most and ignore minor details. Use lists to separate urgent and important tasks. Avoid spending energy on irrelevant thoughts. Ground yourself in the present. Ask, what can I control right now? Breathe deeply and focus on the senses around you. Release thoughts that do not serve immediate action. Break large tasks into small steps. Large projects feel overwhelming and trigger overthinking. Divide tasks into manageable pieces. Focus on completing one step at a time. Set boundaries for worry. Give yourself a specific worry period each day. Outside that time, do not entertain unnecessary thoughts. This trains the mind to focus on the present. Practice reflection, not rumination. Reflect on lessons learned without replaying mistakes endlessly. Ask, what can I do better next time? Avoid imagining negative outcomes that may never occur. These steps help reduce emotional, mental, and practical costs. They give you energy to act, clarity to decide, and confidence to move forward. Small, consistent actions produce lasting improvement. Now, let us reinforce motivation. You are stronger than your thoughts. Your mind is a tool, not a trap. Every small change reduces fatigue, hesitation, and anxiety. You reclaim time, energy, and mental peace. Progress grows with every action, even small steps. You regain confidence and feel more in control. Overthinking no longer defines your day or your life. Even one action breaks the cycle. Writing thoughts down reduces loops. Focusing on present tasks restores energy. Completing small tasks builds confidence and clarity. Step by step, you regain control over your mind. Your life improves as you reduce unnecessary mental strain. To summarize the cost of overthinking: Emotionally, it creates anxiety, stress, and tension. Mentally, it leads to fatigue, confusion, and slow decisions. Practically, it results in hesitation, missed opportunities, and delays. Physically, it disrupts sleep, energy, and health. These costs are interconnected. Stress reduces clarity, hesitation increases, and lost opportunities create regret. Regret fuels more overthinking. Recognizing the cost is the first step to change. Awareness motivates action, and action builds freedom from loops. Even small improvements have visible effects. Fewer loops lead to more focus and productivity. Clarity returns, confidence grows, and opportunities are seized. Energy, mood, and well-being improve step by step. Life becomes lighter and more fulfilling when thoughts are managed effectively. Understanding the cost makes you value clarity. You see that action is stronger than hesitation. You begin to prioritize what matters and release what is not. Your mind becomes a partner rather than a barrier. You act decisively with calm, focus, and confidence. Change is possible with awareness, practice, and consistent action. Now that you understand the cost of overthinking, the next chapter will explore why overthinking is unnecessary and how your thoughts are not facts. You will learn practical strategies to challenge mental loops and begin taking control of your mind. Chapter 3. Why you do not need to overthink. Overthinking is not who you are. It is a habit that your mind learned over time. It does not define your identity. It is separate from your true self. The thoughts you repeat are not facts. They are mental patterns that may or may not reflect reality. Understanding this difference is key to freedom. Thoughts often feel real. They create strong emotions and physical reactions. You may feel anxious, stressed, or afraid. Your mind interprets them as truths, even when they are not. Overthinking convinces you that every thought is important. It urges you to analyze endlessly, replay conversations, and imagine problems. But most thoughts are just possibilities, not facts. The first step is to separate facts from interpretations. A thought may say, "I am not good enough." This is not a fact. It is a perception influenced by past experiences, fears, and self-doubt. You can observe it without believing it. You can respond instead of reacting automatically. This is the power of awareness. Overthinking is often confused with analysis. Analysis is purposeful thinking, focused on solutions. Overthinking is rumination, which traps you in loops. Analysis leads to action. Overthinking leads to hesitation. Analysis clarifies. Overthinking clouds judgment. Understanding the difference allows you to use your mind effectively. You do not need to overthink to make good decisions. Your mind will continue generating thoughts. That is normal and natural. The challenge is not to stop thinking. The challenge is to manage thoughts without letting them control you. Thoughts are tools, not chains. You can observe them, evaluate them, and release the ones that do not serve you. This separates freedom from mental traps. Now, let us explore practical strategies to stop unnecessary overthinking. Label thoughts. Say to yourself, "This is just a thought." Recognize that not every thought is true. Labeling creates distance and reduces automatic reaction. Question assumptions. Ask, "Is this fact or interpretation?" Challenge exaggerated or negative predictions. Replace, what-if scenarios with realistic possibilities. Set thinking limits. Allocate short periods for problem solving. Decide when analysis is enough and action is required. Avoid dwelling beyond that time. Focus on actions, not thoughts. Ask, what can I do now? Take one small step instead of imagining outcomes endlessly. Progress occurs in action, not in thought loops. Practice mindfulness. Observe the present moment without judgment. Pay attention to sensations, breathing, and surroundings. Mindfulness interrupts automatic overthinking patterns. Distinguish analysis from rumination. Identify when thinking is productive or repetitive. Productive analysis leads to solutions. Rumination keeps you stuck and creates anxiety. Redirect focus to decisions and actions. Write thoughts down. Journaling reduces mental clutter. Seeing thoughts on paper separates them from self-identity. Review for patterns and release unnecessary worry. Affirm your ability to act. Say, I am capable of handling challenges. Remind yourself that overthinking is a habit, not your nature. Confidence reduces hesitation and clears mental space. These strategies allow you to manage thoughts without letting them control your emotions or actions. They empower you to act decisively with clarity and calm. The mind becomes a tool for progress, not a source of paralysis. Motivation is essential in this process. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer, the decision maker, the actor. Overthinking is temporary and changeable. With awareness, practice, and small actions, you regain control. You can stop letting fear, self-doubt, and imagined scenarios dictate your life. Each decision made without excessive thought strengthens clarity and confidence. Each action taken builds mental resilience and reduces unnecessary loops. Consider this example. You are worried about a conversation tomorrow. You imagine failure, embarrassment, and judgment. Overthinking convinces you to delay preparation or avoid it entirely. Instead, apply the strategies. Label the thought. This is just a thought. Question assumptions. Am I predicting facts or imagining scenarios? Take action. Review points to discuss. Rehearse briefly. Focus on present preparation, not imagined outcomes. The result: reduced anxiety, clear focus, and confidence to act. You experience freedom from mental loops. Your energy shifts from worry to productive action. Overthinking also consumes time that could be spent creating, learning, or connecting. Time lost to rumination cannot be recovered. When you manage thoughts effectively, you reclaim time for growth and meaningful activity. This strengthens motivation to maintain awareness and reduce overthinking. Your identity is separate from mental patterns. Overthinking may feel automatic, but it is learned. Habits can be unlearned, replaced with conscious strategies. Every small effort builds new neural pathways for clarity, focus, and calm. You gradually weaken the grip of repetitive thoughts. You reinforce constructive mental habits that serve action and progress. The difference between analysis and rumination is subtle but powerful. Analysis is deliberate, structured, and solution-focused. Rumination is repetitive, uncontrolled, and anxiety-inducing. You can train your mind to analyze without overthinking. Observe thought patterns, redirect loops, and focus on practical steps. This distinction allows the mind to be a tool for success. Daily practice reinforces mental freedom. Brief reflection, journaling, and mindfulness create control over thought patterns. Action strengthens confidence, while reducing imagined risks. You build clarity through experience, not endless speculation. Every small step strengthens your ability to act decisively. Remember, thoughts are not facts. They are possibilities, predictions, and interpretations. Believing all thoughts as truth leads to unnecessary stress. Questioning and observing thoughts frees the mind. You gain mental clarity, emotional balance, and confidence. Overthinking is a habit, not identity. You are not your doubts, fears, or imagined failures. You are the decision maker, the actor, and the observer. Separating identity from thought creates inner freedom. You experience life with less hesitation and more clarity. Step by step, awareness grows. Action replaces loops. Confidence strengthens with each decision. Mental energy returns as unnecessary worry fades. You feel lighter, calmer, and more capable. Now that you understand why overthinking is unnecessary, the next chapter will focus on practical techniques to break overthinking habits. You will learn exercises, mental strategies, and daily routines to reclaim control over your mind and live with clarity. Chapter 4. Identifying Hidden Thought Patterns. Many people do not realize how much their thoughts control them. Hidden thought patterns are subtle and automatic. They run in the background of your mind, constantly influencing your feelings and actions. These patterns often cause overthinking, anxiety, and hesitation. The first step to freeing your mind is identification. You cannot change what you do not see or understand. Negative thinking loops are common in everyone's mind. They repeat old worries, mistakes, and fears without resolution. You may replay conversations, decisions, or imagine failures. Your brain treats repetition as learning, even if it increases stress. These loops drain mental energy and reduce clarity. They block action and limit growth. Recognizing them is the foundation for change. Automatic thoughts are another hidden pattern. They appear suddenly, often without conscious awareness. A thought may trigger an emotional reaction instantly. You feel fear, guilt, or doubt before analyzing the situation. Automatic thoughts are learned habits, repeated over time. They are not facts, but they feel real. They create reactions that reinforce overthinking without your permission. The mind often confuses habit with truth. You assume repeated thoughts reflect reality. This is not true. Patterns may repeat because the mind learned them, not because they are correct. You can observe these patterns without identifying with them. Awareness interrupts automatic reactions and reduces negative loops. Now, let us explore practical steps to identify hidden thought patterns. Journaling daily thoughts. Write down recurring thoughts each day. Include emotions felt with each thought. Over time, patterns appear, revealing repeated worries or doubts. Journaling creates distance between thoughts and identity. Notice emotional triggers. Pay attention to situations that provoke anxiety, anger, or fear. Ask, what thought appeared first? Identify links between trigger and automatic thought. Awareness of triggers reveals hidden mental loops. Observe repetitive questions. Thoughts that repeat as what if or why often indicate loops. Example, why did I say that? Or what if I fail? Note these repetitive questions. They reveal the patterns holding you back. Track physical responses. Stress, tension, and racing heart often accompany hidden loops. Physical reactions indicate thoughts that run automatically. Observe, without judgment, the body's response to mental patterns. Linking body and mind reveals hidden thinking habits. Identify cognitive distortions. Patterns often involve exaggeration, all-or-nothing thinking, or catastrophizing. Ask, am I assuming the worst-case scenario? Replace distorted thought with balanced perspective. Recognizing distortions interrupts loops before they escalate. Use thought records. Write thought, emotion, and behavior together. Evaluate evidence for and against the thought. Decide if reaction is necessary or if thought can be released. Thought records strengthen mental awareness and control. Reflect on past patterns. Recall previous decisions or mistakes that replay in mind. Identify common themes or recurring fears. Recognize lessons learned versus repetitive mental loops. Reflection prevents repetition and builds clarity. Seek feedback from others. Sometimes hidden patterns are difficult to see alone. Trusted friends or mentors can provide perspective. They may notice reactions, hesitations, or loops you miss. External feedback accelerates self-awareness and change. Identifying thought patterns allows you to understand the root of overthinking. You realize that much of mental stress is habitual, not factual. Awareness creates freedom from unconscious loops. It is the first step in reclaiming mental energy, focus, and clarity. Motivation is essential. You are capable of observing your mind without judgment. Every repeated thought is not reality. Each automatic response can be managed and redirected. Awareness builds power and interrupts unconscious patterns. Small observations accumulate, creating lasting changes in thought habits. Your mental space expands as loops fade, giving room for clarity and action. Step-by-step identification strengthens control. Begin with journaling and notice repeated themes. Link triggers to automatic thoughts and note patterns. Identify distortions and challenge exaggerated assumptions. Reflect on past repetition and release unnecessary mental loops. Ask trusted others for perspective when blind spots exist. These steps transform hidden patterns into observable, manageable habits. Action replaces rumination and confidence grows. Understanding patterns improves decision-making. When automatic thoughts are identified, you act consciously. Stress decreases and mental fatigue reduces. You take actions aligned with goals, not with imagined fears. Clarity returns and hesitation diminishes. You reclaim time, energy, and mental peace. Hidden thought patterns also affect emotions. Replaying mistakes, imagining failures, or predicting negative outcomes triggers anxiety. Awareness allows you to observe without reacting immediately. The mind becomes a tool for reflection rather than a source of stress. You feel calmer, more focused, and prepared for action. Emotional regulation improves when hidden patterns are recognized. Recognizing patterns also improves relationships. Automatic judgments or assumptions often strain interactions. Awareness prevents unnecessary conflict or misinterpretation. You respond thoughtfully instead of reacting automatically. Communication improves and trust grows. Relationships strengthen as mental loops decrease. Overthinking in work or projects is also reduced. Hidden patterns often cause hesitation or perfectionism. By identifying loops, you streamline decision-making. Tasks are completed efficiently, with clarity and focus. Professional growth accelerates when mental energy is redirected from loops to action. Confidence improves as results reinforce capability. Daily practice is key. Spend 5 to 10 minutes each day observing thoughts. Notice repeated worries, triggers, and physical responses. Label thoughts as patterns, not truths. Use journaling, reflection, and questioning to interrupt loops. Apply small, conscious actions to break habits. Consistency gradually reduces automatic overthinking patterns. Step by step, change becomes permanent. Small actions build clarity, confidence, and resilience. Energy returns to productive thinking rather than repetitive loops. Your mind becomes organized, focused, and free from unnecessary stress. Life feels lighter, more intentional, and more fulfilling. Motivational reinforcement. You are capable of observing your mind objectively. You are not your thoughts and not your loops. Patterns can be identified, managed, and changed. Every small observation increases awareness and control. You reclaim power over mental space and reduce unnecessary worry. Clarity, focus, and peace are attainable when hidden patterns are recognized. The journey is gradual but consistent. Step by step, awareness transforms habits. Repeated loops lose power as conscious thinking increases. Action replaces rumination, and confidence strengthens. Your mind becomes a tool for progress, rather than a source of anxiety. Now that you understand how to identify hidden thought patterns, the next chapter will teach step-by-step techniques to break these patterns effectively. You will learn daily exercises, mental strategies, and practical routines to stop overthinking and regain control of your mind. Chapter 5: Mental Freedom and Self-Awareness. Mental freedom does not come from silence. It comes from awareness. When you understand your thoughts, you control them. When you ignore them, they control you. Self-awareness is the key to freedom. It allows you to observe your mind without fear or judgment. It creates space between you and your thoughts. Many people feel trapped in their own thinking. They believe their emotions are uncontrollable and permanent. They think stress is part of their personality. But this is not true. Most stress comes from automatic reactions, not real danger. These reactions are triggered by hidden patterns. Understanding your triggers is the first step toward mental freedom. A trigger is anything that causes emotional reaction. It can be a word, situation, memory, or person. Triggers activate automatic thoughts and emotional responses. Often you react before you even understand why. This reaction feels natural, but it is learned. Triggers are connected to past experiences, fears, and beliefs. When you identify them, you weaken their power. For example, criticism may trigger self-doubt. Silence from someone may trigger anxiety. A small mistake may trigger fear of failure. The reaction feels immediate and overwhelming, but the reaction begins with a thought. If you observe that thought, you gain control. Awareness transforms reaction into conscious response. Now, let us explore practical steps to understand your triggers. Notice emotional shifts. Pay attention when your mood changes suddenly. Ask yourself what happened before the shift. Identify the event, word, or action that triggered emotion. Write it down for clarity. Identify the first thought. After noticing a trigger, ask what thought appeared first. Was it fear, doubt, or negative prediction? Most emotional reactions begin with one automatic thought. Recognizing this thought gives you awareness. Connect present to past. Many triggers are linked to past experiences. Ask yourself if this reaction feels familiar. Often current situations remind you of old memories. Understanding this link reduces emotional intensity. Pause before reacting. When triggered, take a slow breath. Give yourself 5 seconds before responding. This short pause weakens automatic behavior. It allows rational thinking to return. Reflect without judgment. Do not criticize yourself for reacting. Instead, observe the pattern calmly. Say, "This is a trigger, not reality." Awareness grows when judgment decreases. Understanding triggers increases emotional control. You no longer react blindly. You begin to respond with awareness and clarity. This builds confidence and inner strength. Now let us talk about thought distortions. Thought distortions are inaccurate thinking patterns. They exaggerate problems and ignore positive facts. They create fear, doubt, and stress unnecessarily. Most people experience them daily, without realizing it. Recognizing distortions is powerful and life-changing. Common distortions include catastrophizing. This is when you imagine the worst outcome. A small problem becomes a disaster in your mind. You assume failure before trying. This distortion increases anxiety and hesitation. Another distortion is all-or-nothing thinking. You see situations as complete success or total failure. There is no middle ground in your mind. One mistake feels like total defeat. This pattern creates pressure and self-criticism. Mind reading is another common distortion. You assume you know what others think about you. You believe they are judging, criticizing, or rejecting you. There is no real evidence, only assumption. This distortion damages confidence and relationships. Overgeneralization is also common. One negative event becomes a permanent belief. You think, "This always happens to me." You ignore positive exceptions. This creates hopelessness and low motivation. Now let us explore practical steps to recognize thought distortions. Question the evidence. Ask yourself what proof supports the thought. Look for real facts, not feelings. If evidence is weak, the thought may be distorted. Look for alternative explanations. Ask what other possibilities exist. Consider positive or neutral outcomes. Balanced thinking reduces emotional intensity. Avoid extreme words. Words like always, never, or everyone increase distortion. Replace them with more realistic language. This simple change improves mental balance. Separate feeling from fact. Feeling anxious does not mean danger is real. Emotions are signals, not proof. Recognizing this difference increases control. Practice balanced statements. Replace "I always fail" with "I made a mistake." Replace "everyone dislikes me" with "some people may disagree." Balanced language creates mental stability. Recognizing distortions weakens their influence. You begin to see thoughts clearly, without fear. Your mind becomes more logical and less reactive. Stress decreases as clarity increases. Now let us understand how awareness gives you control. Awareness creates distance between you and your thoughts. Without awareness, thoughts control emotions. With awareness, you control responses. This difference changes everything. Imagine your thoughts as passing clouds. Without awareness, you chase every cloud. With awareness, you observe them calmly. They pass without disturbing your peace. Control does not mean stopping thoughts. It means choosing which thoughts deserve attention. Not every idea requires analysis. Not every fear requires reaction. Awareness allows selection and direction. When you understand triggers, you reduce emotional shock. When you recognize distortions, you reduce mental confusion. When you observe thoughts calmly, you increase confidence. All of this creates mental freedom. Mental freedom means acting without unnecessary fear. It means deciding without constant doubt. It means living in the present, not in imagined futures. This freedom is built through daily awareness practice. Daily practice is simple. Spend 5 minutes observing your thoughts. Notice triggers during conversations. Question distorted thinking immediately. Pause before reacting emotionally. Write reflections in a journal each night. Consistency builds long-term mental clarity. Over time, awareness becomes natural. You respond calmly in stressful situations. You analyze clearly, without overthinking. You feel confident in decisions. You trust yourself more each day. Motivational reinforcement is important. You are capable of understanding your mind. You are not weak for feeling emotions. Emotions are normal and manageable. Awareness transforms weakness into strength. Every small observation increases control. Every pause strengthens discipline. Every balanced thought builds confidence. You are building mental freedom step by step. Triggers lose power as awareness increases. Distortions fade as clarity improves. Control grows with consistent practice. Peace becomes your natural state. Remember, awareness is power. It gives you choice. It gives you clarity. It gives you control over reactions. It separates you from automatic habits. It strengthens your identity beyond fear. Mental freedom is not instant. It is built gradually, with patience and practice. Some days will feel easy. Some days will feel challenging. But each day of awareness creates progress. You now understand your triggers. You now recognize thought distortions. You now see how awareness gives control. This knowledge changes how you experience life. You begin to respond with strength, not fear. You act with confidence, not hesitation. To summarize this chapter, triggers create automatic emotional reactions. Distortions create inaccurate thinking patterns. Awareness separates thought from identity. Observation gives you power over reaction. Daily practice builds lasting mental freedom. You are not controlled by your mind. You are the observer of your mind. This understanding is true strength. Now that you understand mental freedom and self-awareness, the next chapter will focus on practical daily routines that strengthen calm thinking and reduce overthinking permanently. You will learn structured exercises, simple habits, and mindset shifts that build lasting mental clarity. Chapter 6. Techniques to challenge negative thoughts. Negative thoughts are powerful. They appear fast and feel true. They shape emotions and control actions. If you do not question them, they grow stronger. If you challenge them, they lose power. This chapter will teach you how to challenge negative thoughts clearly and calmly. Every negative thought begins as a sentence in your mind. It may say, "I am not good enough." It may say, "This will fail." It may say, "People will judge me." These sentences feel real, but they are not facts. They are mental events, not reality. Learning to challenge them gives you strength. The first technique is reframing thoughts. Reframing means changing the way you see a situation. It does not mean lying to yourself. It means finding a balanced and realistic view. Your first thought is not always correct. You can choose a better perspective. For example, you make a mistake at work. Your mind says, "I always fail." This is negative and extreme. Reframing would say, "I made a mistake, but I can improve." The event stays the same, but the meaning changes. This reduces stress and increases motivation. Reframing requires awareness. You must notice the negative thought first. Pause when you feel sudden stress. Ask yourself what sentence just appeared. Write it down if possible. Seeing the thought clearly helps you change it. Now let us explore step-by-step reframing. Identify the negative thought. Notice the exact words in your mind. Do not change them yet. Just observe clearly. Check for extremes. Look for words like always, never, or everyone. Extreme words often signal distortion. Replace them with balanced language. Find a neutral explanation. Ask what a calm person would say. Look for facts, not emotions. Create a fair and realistic statement. Replace the original thought. Repeat the balanced thought slowly. Say it with confidence and clarity. Practice this daily for strong effect. Reframing does not ignore problems. It helps you see them clearly, without fear. Clear thinking leads to better action. Better action leads to better results. The second technique is cognitive distancing. Cognitive distancing means creating space between you and your thoughts. It reminds you that you are not your mind. You are the observer of your mind. This space reduces emotional intensity. When a negative thought appears, say, I am having the thought that. For example, instead of I am a failure, say, I am having the thought that I am a failure. This small change creates distance. It reminds you the thought is temporary. Another way to create distance is visualization. Imagine your thoughts as words on a screen. Imagine them floating away like clouds. See them pass without chasing them. This builds control over reaction. Now let us break down cognitive distancing steps. Name the thought. Say, this is a negative thought. Labeling reduces automatic reaction. Add distance language. Use the phrase, I am having the thought that. This separates identity from thought. Observe without judgment. Do not fight the thought. Do not believe it fully. Just observe calmly. Return to present action. After observing, focus on a task. Action weakens rumination. Cognitive distancing reduces anxiety quickly. It stops thoughts from controlling emotions. It builds mental discipline over time. The third technique is questioning assumptions. Many negative thoughts are built on assumptions. You assume others are judging you. You assume failure before trying. You assume bad outcomes without proof. These assumptions feel real but lack evidence. Questioning assumptions means asking strong questions. It means testing the thought like a scientist. You look for proof and logic. You do not accept every idea automatically. Here are practical steps to question assumptions. Ask for evidence. What proof supports this thought? What proof goes against it? Is the evidence strong or weak? Ask about probability. What are the real chances this will happen? Are you predicting the worst case only? Consider realistic outcomes. Ask about control. What part of this situation can you control? Focus on that small part. Action reduces fear. Ask about long-term impact. Will this matter in 1 year? Will this matter in 5 years? Many worries lose importance over time. When you question assumptions, fear decreases. Logic replaces imagination. Clarity replaces confusion. Now let us combine all three techniques. Imagine you are afraid to speak in a meeting. Your thought says, I will embarrass myself. First, reframe the thought. Say, I may feel nervous, but I can prepare. Second, create distance. Say, I am having the thought that I will embarrass myself. Third, question the assumption. Ask, what proof do I have that this will happen? You now feel calmer and more confident. Your mind becomes a tool, not an enemy. Daily practice is important. Set aside 10 minutes each day. Write one negative thought. Apply reframing clearly. Apply distancing calmly. Ask strong logical questions. Repeat until balanced thinking feels natural. Consistency builds mental strength. Small effort each day creates lasting change. Neural pathways grow stronger with repetition. Over time, challenging thoughts becomes automatic. Motivational reinforcement is necessary. You are capable of changing your thinking. You are not trapped by negative patterns. Your mind is flexible and trainable. Every time you challenge a thought, you grow stronger. Every balanced response builds confidence. Every calm reaction increases control. Negative thoughts may still appear. That is normal and human. The goal is not silence. The goal is control. You choose which thoughts deserve attention. You decide how to respond. This is mental maturity. This is emotional strength. This is personal power. Reframing builds perspective. Cognitive distancing builds separation. Questioning assumptions builds logic. Together, they create mental freedom. You no longer believe every fear. You no longer accept every doubt. You analyze calmly and act wisely. You trust yourself more each day. To summarize this chapter, negative thoughts are not facts. Reframing changes perspective. Cognitive distancing creates space. Questioning assumptions builds clarity. Practice creates confidence and control. These techniques are simple, but powerful. They require patience and repetition. With time, your thinking becomes balanced. Your emotions become stable. Your actions become confident. Now that you know how to challenge negative thoughts, the next chapter will focus on building positive mental habits that replace old patterns permanently. You will learn daily routines, mindset shifts, and structured exercises that create long-term mental stability. Chapter 7. Building Mental Discipline. Mental discipline is the ability to control your mind. It means choosing focus over distraction. It means choosing action over delay. It means choosing clarity over confusion. Mental discipline is not talent. It is a daily practice. It grows slowly, with repetition and patience. Many people think discipline is strict control. They believe it requires extreme effort. This is not true. Mental discipline is built through small habits. Small actions repeated daily create strong results. Consistency matters more than intensity. Slow progress is better than no progress. Your mind follows patterns. If you let it wander daily, it becomes restless. If you train it daily, it becomes focused. The brain adapts to repeated behavior. This is how discipline is formed. You train your mind like a muscle. Practice makes it stronger over time. Daily mental exercises are the foundation. They do not require special tools. They require time and attention. Even 10 minutes a day is enough. What matters is repetition. Discipline grows through daily effort. Let us begin with simple daily mental exercises. Morning thought awareness. Spend 5 minutes observing your thoughts. Do not judge them. Just notice what appears. This builds awareness at the start of the day. Focused breathing. Sit quietly for 5 minutes. Focus only on your breath. When the mind wanders, gently bring it back. This trains attention and control. Single task practice. Choose one task each day. Complete it without checking your phone. Avoid multitasking during this time. This strengthens focus and patience. Daily reflection. At night, review your day briefly. Notice where your mind was distracted. Notice where you stayed focused. This builds awareness and improvement. Delayed reaction exercise. When feeling emotional, pause for 5 seconds. Breathe slowly before responding. This strengthens emotional discipline. These small exercises train the brain daily. They improve control over thoughts. They increase clarity in decisions. They reduce impulsive reactions. With time, focus becomes natural. Now, let us understand consistency over intensity. Many people start with high motivation. They practice for 1 hour daily. After a week, they stop. This is intensity without consistency. It does not create lasting discipline. Consistency means small effort daily. Even 5 minutes is enough. What matters is not missing the habit. Daily repetition builds neural strength. The brain learns through repeated exposure. Think of physical exercise. Short workouts daily build strength. One extreme workout causes pain. The same applies to mental training. Gentle repetition builds lasting control. To build consistency, follow these steps. Set a fixed time. Choose the same time every day. Morning or night both work. Fixed timing builds routine. Start small. Begin with 5 minutes only. Increase time slowly if needed. Small habits are easier to maintain. Track progress. Mark a calendar each day you practice. Visual progress builds motivation. Missing fewer days builds confidence. Avoid perfection thinking. If you miss one day, continue next day. Do not quit because of one mistake. Discipline grows through patience. Focus on long-term growth. Results may not appear immediately. Trust the process. Improvement happens gradually. Consistency builds mental strength quietly. You may not notice change daily, but after weeks, clarity improves. After months, focus becomes stronger. After years, discipline becomes natural. Now let us talk about strengthening focus and clarity. Focus means giving full attention to one thing. Clarity means thinking without confusion. Both are results of discipline. Without discipline, the mind jumps constantly. With discipline, the mind stays steady. Modern life creates distraction. Phones, notifications, and noise interrupt attention. Your brain becomes used to constant change. This reduces deep thinking ability. Mental discipline restores deep focus. Here are exercises to strengthen focus and clarity. Time block method. Choose a task for 20 minutes. Set a timer. Focus only on that task. Stop when timer ends. Take a short break. Remove distractions. Keep phone away during work. Turn off unnecessary notifications. Create a quiet workspace. Environment affects focus strongly. Write clear goals. Before starting a task, define the goal. Clear goals reduce confusion. Knowing purpose improves concentration. Practice mental decluttering. Write down all worries on paper. Clear your mind before important work. Empty thoughts improve clarity. Read slowly and carefully. Spend 10 minutes reading daily. Focus on understanding each line. This improves attention span. Limit multitasking. Complete one task before starting another. Multitasking reduces quality and clarity. Single focus increases productivity. Strengthening focus takes patience. Distraction is a habit. Focus is also a habit. You choose which habit to build. Mental discipline also improves emotional control. When you are disciplined, you respond calmly. You think before speaking. You act after reflection. This builds respect and confidence. Discipline reduces overthinking. When focus is strong, rumination decreases. You do not waste energy on loops. You use energy for action. This increases productivity and peace. Let us connect everything together. Daily exercises build awareness. Consistency builds strength. Focus builds clarity. Clarity builds confidence. Confidence builds action. Action builds success. This process is gradual, but powerful. Motivational reinforcement is important here. You are capable of strong discipline. You do not need perfect conditions. You need daily effort. 5 minutes daily can change your life. Small actions create big results. There will be days of distraction. There will be days of low motivation. Continue anyway. Discipline grows when motivation is low. Showing up daily is real strength. You are training your mind for life. You are building internal stability. You are building control over reactions. You are building clarity in decisions. This is true personal power. Mental discipline is freedom. It frees you from impulsive behavior. It frees you from constant distraction. It frees you from emotional chaos. It gives you direction and purpose. Imagine yourself after 6 months of practice. Your focus is sharper. Your decisions are faster. Your emotions are balanced. Your confidence is steady. This future is built today. Every focused minute counts. Every paused reaction counts. Every completed task counts. Progress is built quietly. To summarize this chapter, mental discipline is daily control of attention. Small exercises build strong habits. Consistency is stronger than intensity. Focus grows through repetition. Clarity grows through practice. Discipline creates confidence and calm. You are not controlled by distraction. You can train your attention. You can strengthen your clarity. You can build discipline step by step. Now that you understand how to build mental discipline, the next chapter will focus on emotional resilience and how to stay calm under pressure. You will learn practical tools to manage stress and maintain clarity during difficult moments. Chapter 8. Living in the Present Moment. Living in the present moment is powerful. It brings calm and mental clarity. It reduces stress and quiets the mind. Most overthinking comes from past or future focus. We replay old mistakes or imagine future problems. Very rarely do we stay in the present. Yet the present is the only moment we truly have. The past cannot be changed. The future has not arrived. Only this moment is real. When you focus on now, worry decreases. When you focus on now, fear weakens. When you focus on now, control increases. This is the power of presence. Many people live inside memories. They replay conversations again and again. They regret actions and blame themselves. This creates guilt and emotional pain. Others live inside future fears. They imagine failure, rejection, or loss. This creates anxiety and mental tension. Living in the present breaks this pattern. It teaches the mind to return to now. It builds awareness of current reality. It strengthens calm thinking and emotional balance. Presence is a skill. It can be trained daily. Mindfulness is the practice of present awareness. It means paying attention on purpose. It means noticing thoughts without judgment. It means observing feelings calmly. Mindfulness reduces automatic reactions. It increases self-control and mental peace. Let us explore simple mindfulness techniques. Mindful breathing. Sit comfortably in a quiet place. Focus on slow breathing. Notice air entering and leaving your body. If the mind wanders, gently bring it back. Practice for 5 minutes daily. Body awareness. Close your eyes slowly. Notice sensations in your body. Observe tension in shoulders, neck, or jaw. Relax each area step by step. This builds connection with the present. Mindful observation. Choose one object near you. Observe its color, shape, and texture. Focus fully for 1 minute. This strengthens attention and awareness. Mindful listening. Listen carefully to surrounding sounds. Notice small details in each sound. Do not label them good or bad. Just observe quietly. Mindful eating. Eat slowly without distractions. Notice taste, texture, and smell. Focus fully on each bite. This trains daily awareness. These exercises may seem simple, but repetition builds strong mental focus. Mindfulness weakens overthinking. It trains the brain to stay present. Now let us talk about grounding exercises. Grounding helps during stress or anxiety. It brings attention back to reality. It reduces panic and emotional overload. Grounding connects you to your senses. It reminds you that you are safe now. Here are effective grounding techniques. The 5 senses method. Name 5 things you can see. Name 4 things you can touch. Name 3 things you can hear. Name 2 things you can smell. Name 1 thing you can taste. This shifts focus from worry to reality. Physical movement. Walk slowly and notice each step. Feel your feet touching the ground. Pay attention to body movement. Movement reduces mental tension. Cold water technique. Wash your face with cold water. Notice the sensation clearly. This interrupts anxious thought loops. Deep counting breath. Inhale slowly for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. Exhale slowly for 4 seconds. Repeat several times. Describe your environment. Look around carefully. Describe objects in simple words. Focus on facts, not emotions. This strengthens present awareness. Grounding is useful during emotional stress. It stops the mind from racing. It brings stability during panic. It builds control over reaction. Now let us discuss overcoming worry about past and future. Worry about the past often creates regret. You may think about mistakes repeatedly. You may blame yourself for old decisions. This does not change the past. It only increases pain. To overcome past worry, follow these steps. Accept reality. Say clearly, the past is finished. Acceptance reduces resistance. Resistance increases suffering. Learn the lesson. Ask what you learned from the event. Focus on growth, not guilt. Lessons build strength. Forgive yourself. Everyone makes mistakes. Self-forgiveness builds peace. Release harsh self-judgment. Shift focus to action. Ask what you can improve today. Present action creates new results. Future worry creates anxiety. It is based on imagination. The future is uncertain. Most feared events never happen. To overcome future worry, use these steps. Focus on today. Ask what you can control now. Act on small tasks immediately. Action reduces anxiety. Limit what-if thinking. Notice when you imagine worst cases. Replace them with balanced thoughts. Not every possibility is likely. Create simple plans. If worried about a task, plan basic steps. Clear planning reduces fear. Practice gratitude. List 3 things you appreciate daily. Gratitude shifts attention to positives. Positive focus reduces worry. Living in the present requires practice. It does not happen automatically. The mind naturally moves to past and future. Training brings it back gently. Daily presence builds emotional stability. You react less impulsively. You think more clearly. You feel calmer during stress. You enjoy simple moments more deeply. Presence also improves relationships. When you listen fully, connection increases. When you focus fully, understanding improves. People feel valued and respected. Presence improves productivity as well. Focused attention increases efficiency. Clear thinking improves decisions. Less distraction saves time. Let us connect everything together. Mindfulness builds awareness. Grounding builds stability. Acceptance reduces past regret. Planning reduces future fear. Presence creates peace. Motivational reinforcement is important here. You are capable of living fully in the present. You are not trapped in old memories. You are not controlled by future fear. You can return to now at any time. Each breath is a new beginning. Each moment is fresh. Each second gives a new choice. Presence gives you control over your life. There will be distractions. There will be wandering thoughts. That is normal. Gently return to now. Do not criticize yourself. Patience builds strong awareness. Over time, presence becomes natural. You worry less about yesterday. You fear less about tomorrow. You focus more on today. Life feels lighter and clearer. To summarize this chapter, the present moment is powerful. Mindfulness builds awareness and calm. Grounding reduces stress quickly. Acceptance releases past regret. Action reduces future fear. Daily practice builds lasting peace. You now understand how to live in the present. You now have tools for mindfulness. You now know grounding exercises. You now see how to reduce worry. Transition to next chapter. Now that you understand how to live in the present moment, the next chapter will focus on building emotional resilience and staying calm during challenges. You will learn practical strategies to manage stress and remain balanced under pressure. Chapter 9. Daily Exercises to Manage Overthinking. Overthinking does not stop in one day. It reduces with daily practice. Small daily exercises build strong mental control. Simple habits create lasting results. When you train your mind daily, clarity increases. When you ignore your mind, confusion grows. Daily effort creates mental stability. Managing overthinking requires structure. Structure gives direction to your thoughts. Without structure, the mind wanders freely. With structure, the mind becomes disciplined. This chapter focuses on practical daily tools. These tools are simple and effective. Anyone can practice them consistently. The first daily exercise is journaling thoughts. Journaling clears mental clutter. It moves thoughts from mind to paper. When thoughts stay inside, they repeat. When thoughts are written, they slow down. Writing creates distance from emotion. Distance creates clarity. Clarity reduces overthinking. Many people think journaling is difficult. It is not complicated. You only need a notebook and pen. You only need 5 to 10 minutes daily. The goal is not perfect writing. The goal is honest observation. Here is how to practice journaling daily. Write without editing. Write exactly what you are thinking. Do not correct grammar. Do not judge your words. Let thoughts flow freely. Identify repeated thoughts. After writing, read slowly. Notice repeated fears or worries. Circle patterns that appear often. Label emotions clearly. Next to each thought, write the emotion. Example: fear, anger, doubt, or sadness. Naming emotions reduces their intensity. Challenge the thought. Ask if the thought is fact or assumption. Replace extreme language with balanced words. Write a calmer version below it. End with one action step. Write one small action you can take today. Action reduces mental looping. Journaling works best when practiced daily. Morning journaling prepares your mind. Night journaling clears the day's stress. Consistency builds mental awareness. Awareness builds control. The second daily exercise is the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding method. This method is simple and powerful. It helps during anxiety or stress. It brings your mind back to the present. It uses your 5 senses for awareness. It stops racing thoughts quickly. Here is how the 5-4-3-2-1 method works. Step 1. 5 things you see. Look around slowly. Name 5 visible objects. Focus clearly on each one. Step 2. 4 things you touch. Notice 4 physical sensations. It may be clothes, chair, or floor. Feel each sensation carefully. Step 3. 3 things you hear. Listen quietly for small sounds. It may be a fan, wind, or distant noise. Focus on each sound clearly. Step 4. 2 things you smell. Notice any scent in the air. If none is present, recall a favorite smell. Step 5. 1 thing you taste. Notice taste in your mouth, or take a small sip of water. This method grounds your attention. It shifts focus from thought to reality. It reduces panic and worry. It reminds you that you are safe. Practice this method daily, even when calm. Training during calm builds strength for stress. It becomes automatic during anxiety. It builds strong mental stability. The third daily exercise is tracking progress and triggers. Tracking creates awareness. Awareness creates improvement. When you measure something, you improve it. Overthinking reduces when patterns are tracked. Start by identifying triggers daily. Triggers are situations that increase stress. It may be criticism, deadlines, or silence. Each trigger connects to a thought. Write down the trigger clearly. Here is a simple tracking method. Record the situation. Write what happened briefly. Keep it simple and factual. Record the thought. Write the first thought that appeared. Be honest and clear. Record the emotion. Rate the emotion from 1 to 10. This measures intensity. Record your response. Write how you reacted. Did you pause or react quickly? Record improvement. Write what you could do better next time. Learning builds growth. Tracking progress shows improvement over weeks. You may notice fewer intense reactions. You may notice shorter thought loops. This builds confidence and motivation. Daily review strengthens learning. Spend 5 minutes at night reviewing notes. Notice patterns clearly. Notice improvements slowly. Small progress is powerful. Now let us combine all exercises. Morning. Practice mindful breathing for 5 minutes. Write short journal entry. During the day, use 5-4-3-2-1 method when stressed. Pause before emotional reactions. Evening. Track triggers and thoughts. Write 1 improvement step. This simple routine takes less than 20 minutes daily, but results grow over time. Consistency matters more than perfection. Let us talk about long-term benefits. Journaling builds self-awareness. Grounding builds emotional stability. Tracking builds accountability. Together, they reduce overthinking. They create calm thinking habits. Overthinking loses power with structure. When you have tools, you feel confident. Confidence reduces fear. Reduced fear reduces mental loops. Motivational reinforcement is important. You are capable of daily improvement. You do not need extreme effort. You need small daily action. 5 minutes daily creates change. 10 minutes daily builds discipline. Consistency creates transformation. Some days will feel heavy. Some days thoughts will return strongly. Do not give up. Return to the exercises calmly. Growth is not always visible immediately. Over weeks, you will notice change. Your reactions will slow down. Your thoughts will feel lighter. Your confidence will increase. Your sleep may improve. Your focus will become sharper. This is the power of daily exercises. To summarize this chapter, journaling clears mental clutter. The 5-4-3-2-1 method grounds attention. Tracking triggers builds awareness. Daily structure reduces overthinking. Consistency creates lasting mental control. You now have practical daily tools. You now have structure for improvement. You now understand how to track progress. You now know how to ground your mind. Daily effort builds mental freedom. Small actions create strong habits. You are building a calm and focused mind. Transition to next chapter. Now that you have daily exercises to manage overthinking, the next chapter will focus on building long-term emotional resilience and maintaining progress even during difficult times. You will learn how to stay strong, motivated, and mentally balanced, even when life becomes challenging. Chapter 10. Using positive affirmations. Positive affirmations are not magic words. They are mental training tools. They reshape internal dialogue. They replace destructive thinking patterns. They strengthen emotional stability. Every person has an inner voice. Sometimes that voice supports growth. Often it becomes critical and harsh. This inner critic repeats negative messages daily. It questions your ability. It highlights your weaknesses. It exaggerates your mistakes. It predicts failure before effort begins. Over time, repeated negative self-talk shapes identity. You begin to believe the criticism. You act according to those beliefs. Your confidence decreases. Your motivation weakens. Your mental energy drains. Positive affirmations interrupt this cycle. They introduce a new narrative. They create healthier mental patterns. They reprogram automatic thoughts. They gradually transform self-perception. This chapter explains 3 core areas: replacing the inner critic, understanding how affirmations change mindset, and applying practical examples daily. Replacing the inner critic with positive statements. The inner critic develops from past experiences. It forms from criticism, rejection, and failure. It stores negative memories strongly. It tries to protect you from pain, but its method is harmful. The inner critic uses absolute language. I always fail. I am not good enough. I cannot handle this. These statements feel real, but they are distorted interpretations. Replacing the inner critic begins with awareness. You must first notice the negative sentence. You cannot change what you ignore. Step 1 is identification. Listen carefully to your internal dialogue. Notice repeated negative phrases. Write them down clearly. Be honest and direct. Step 2 is evaluation. Ask if the thought is factual. Is there evidence supporting it? Or is it emotional exaggeration? Most negative self-talk lacks balanced evidence. Step 3 is replacement. Do not deny reality. Do not create unrealistic fantasy. Replace criticism with constructive truth. For example, inner critic says, I always fail. Balanced affirmation becomes, I learn from mistakes and improve. Inner critic says, I am not confident. Balanced affirmation becomes, I am building confidence step by step. Inner critic says, I cannot handle pressure. Balanced affirmation becomes, I stay calm and solve problems one at a time. The key principle is realism. Affirmations must feel believable. If the mind rejects them completely, they lose power. Choose statements that stretch you slightly. not statements that feel impossible. Consistency strengthens replacement. When the critic appears, respond immediately. Do not argue aggressively. Respond calmly and firmly. Repeat the positive statements slowly. Over time, repetition builds familiarity. Familiar thoughts feel true. The brain adapts to repeated language. Neural pathways strengthen through repetition. The inner critic becomes weaker. The supportive voice becomes stronger. This process requires patience. Years of negative self-talk cannot disappear instantly, but daily correction creates steady change. How affirmations change your mindset. Affirmations influence the brain through repetition and focus. The brain does not fully separate imagination from reality. Repeated thoughts shape emotional responses. Emotional responses shape behavior. Behavior shapes identity. When you repeat a statement daily, your brain begins to accept it. Acceptance shifts attention. Attention shifts perception. Perception shifts decisions. For example, if you repeat, "I am capable," your brain searches for evidence of capability. You notice small achievements. You recognize personal strengths. Confidence gradually increases. Without affirmations, the brain defaults to negativity. It remembers threats more strongly than successes. This is natural survival programming. Affirmations balance this bias. They train the mind to look for growth. They shift focus from weakness to progress. They reduce emotional reactivity. They increase resilience. Affirmations also influence posture and tone. When you believe positive statements, your body language improves. Your voice becomes steady. Your decisions become clearer. Mindset change happens in stages. Stage 1 is resistance. The mind questions new statements. It feels unfamiliar. Stage 2 is repetition. The statement becomes easier to say. Emotional resistance decreases. Stage 3 is integration. The statement feels natural. It influences behavior automatically. This transformation is subtle but powerful. You begin to respond differently to stress. You recover faster from setbacks. You take action with less fear. Affirmations are most effective when combined with action. Words alone are not enough. Action reinforces belief. Belief strengthens action. Together, they build identity change. For example, affirmation, "I am disciplined." Action, complete one planned task daily. Each completed task confirms the statement. Confidence grows naturally. Affirmations create internal permission. Permission to grow. Permission to improve. Permission to succeed. They reduce the fear of failure. They replace self-doubt with self-support. They build emotional independence. Practical examples of positive affirmations. Effective affirmations follow clear guidelines. They must be present tense. They must be positive in structure. They must be clear and specific. They must connect with personal goals. Avoid negative phrasing. Instead of saying, "I am not weak," say, "I am strong and capable." Here are practical affirmation categories. 1. Confidence affirmations. I trust my abilities. I speak clearly and calmly. I handle challenges with strength. I grow stronger every day. I believe in my progress. Repeat these statements in the morning. Stand upright while speaking them. Maintain steady breathing. Confidence improves with posture alignment. 2. Overthinking reduction affirmations. I release unnecessary worry. I focus on what I can control. I choose calm thinking. My mind is steady and clear. I allow thoughts to pass peacefully. Use these during stressful moments. Repeat slowly. Match them with deep breathing. Calm words calm the nervous system. 3. Discipline and focus affirmations. I complete tasks with focus. I value consistency over perfection. I take action without delay. I control my attention. I respect my time and energy. Use these before work sessions. Read them aloud before starting tasks. This prepares the mind for productivity. 4. Self-worth affirmations. I am worthy of success. I respect myself. I deserve growth and happiness. My value is not defined by mistakes. I accept myself while improving daily. Self-worth affirmations reduce comparison. They reduce insecurity. They strengthen emotional stability. How to practice affirmations daily. Morning routine. Stand in front of a mirror. Maintain eye contact with yourself. Repeat 5 selected affirmations. Speak clearly and slowly. Repeat each statement 3 times. Midday reset. Pause for 2 minutes. Close your eyes briefly. Repeat 1 calming affirmation. Breathe deeply. Night reinforcement. Before sleep, repeat 1 growth affirmation. Connect it with gratitude. Reflect on 1 small success of the day. Consistency is essential. Affirmations require repetition for impact. Missing 1 day is acceptable. Quitting entirely weakens progress. Keep affirmations written in visible places. On your desk, inside your notebook, on your phone screen. Visual reminders strengthen repetition. Common mistakes to avoid. Do not use unrealistic exaggerations. Avoid statements that feel fake. Do not repeat mechanically without focus. Engage emotionally with each sentence. Do not depend only on affirmations. Combine them with practical effort. Affirmations guide direction. Action creates results. Do not rush the process. Mindset change is gradual. Patience ensures sustainability. Final reinforcement. Your inner voice shapes your life. If it criticizes constantly, confidence declines. If it supports growth, progress accelerates. Positive affirmations are daily mental training. They replace destructive patterns. They build constructive beliefs. They strengthen emotional resilience. When practiced consistently, they reduce overthinking. They reduce fear of failure. They increase clarity. They increase self-respect. You are not required to be perfect. You are required to be consistent. Small daily repetition creates strong mental transformation. Choose your words carefully. Speak to yourself with respect. Train your mind with intention. Build a supportive inner voice. Your thoughts shape your identity. Your identity shapes your future. Start today. Repeat consciously. Act confidently. Grow steadily. Chapter 11. Overcoming decision paralysis. Decision paralysis happens when thinking becomes excessive. You analyze every option repeatedly. You fear making the wrong choice. You delay action again and again. The mind becomes stuck between possibilities. Every human makes decisions daily. Some are small. Some are life-changing. But overthinking turns even small decisions into stress. Simple choices feel heavy. Clear answers feel distant. When decisions are delayed repeatedly, confidence weakens. Opportunities pass. Stress increases. Regret begins to grow. Overcoming decision paralysis requires awareness, structure, and trust. This chapter focuses on 3 key areas. How overthinking blocks choices. Techniques to simplify decisions. And learning to trust your intuition. How overthinking blocks choices. Overthinking creates the illusion of control. You believe more analysis means better results. Sometimes analysis is helpful, but excessive analysis creates confusion. The mind begins to search for perfect certainty. It wants guarantees. It wants zero risk. It wants complete clarity. But life rarely provides perfect certainty. Every decision carries some risk. Every choice has unknown outcomes. When the mind demands perfection, it delays action. It replays scenarios repeatedly. It imagines worst-case outcomes. It exaggerates consequences. This process activates fear. Fear increases hesitation. Hesitation strengthens doubt. Doubt feeds more thinking. A cycle forms. You think. You doubt. You delay. You think again. Over time, this pattern becomes automatic. The brain connects decisions with stress. Even small choices feel overwhelming. Another reason for decision paralysis is fear of regret. You imagine future disappointment. You ask, what if I choose wrong? You imagine criticism from others. You imagine personal failure. This fear freezes action. You prefer temporary safety over potential growth. But avoiding decisions also creates regret. Inaction has consequences too. Perfectionism also blocks decisions. You want the best option, not just a good option. You compare endlessly. You collect too much information. You wait for ideal timing. But perfection delays progress. Clarity often comes after action, not before it. Overthinking also reduces trust in yourself. When you question every thought, you weaken your internal authority. You begin to believe you cannot decide correctly. Confidence decreases slowly. Decision paralysis is not about intelligence. It is about emotional fear. It is about uncertainty and tolerance. It is about avoiding discomfort. Understanding this truth reduces shame. You are not incapable. You are cautious. But caution must have limits. Techniques to simplify decisions. Clarity grows with structure. Structure reduces mental chaos. You do not need complex systems. You need simple frameworks. The first technique is limiting options. Too many choices increase anxiety. When options multiply, confusion increases. Reduce options intentionally. If you have 10 choices, narrow them to 3. If you have 3, choose between 2. Fewer options reduce pressure. They increase focus. The second technique is setting time limits. Decisions should not remain open forever. Set a clear deadline. It can be 1 hour. It can be 1 day. It depends on importance. A time limit forces action. It prevents endless comparison. It trains the brain to move forward. The third technique is defining criteria. Before deciding, write 3 key priorities. For example, cost, growth potential, personal satisfaction. Evaluate each option against these criteria. Avoid emotional exaggeration. Score them logically. Choose the one that meets most criteria. This method reduces emotional noise. It increases rational clarity. The fourth technique is accepting imperfection. Remind yourself clearly. No decision guarantees perfection. Growth comes from experience. Mistakes provide feedback. Feedback builds wisdom. When you accept imperfection, pressure decreases. Clarity improves. The fifth technique is taking small steps. Not every decision requires a final commitment immediately. Sometimes you can test an option. You can experiment briefly. You can gather real experience. Small action reduces fear. Experience replaces imagination. The sixth technique is focusing on reversible decisions. Some choices are permanent. Most are not. Ask yourself honestly, can I adjust later? If the answer is yes, pressure decreases immediately. You feel freer to act. The seventh technique is reducing external noise. Too many opinions create confusion. Advice can be helpful, but excessive advice creates doubt. Listen selectively. Choose 1 or 2 trusted sources. Then decide independently. The final technique is practicing daily small decisions. Make small choices quickly. What to eat. What task to start first. What time to sleep. Train your brain to decide calmly. Confidence builds gradually. Learning to trust your intuition. Intuition is quiet clarity. It is not loud emotion. It is not panic. It is not impulse. Intuition is a calm internal signal. It reflects experience and pattern recognition. Your brain processes information subconsciously. It forms impressions quickly. But overthinking drowns intuition. Excessive analysis creates noise. Fear masks clarity. To trust intuition, you must create mental space. Pause before analysis. Notice your first calm reaction, not your anxious reaction. but your stable internal response. Ask yourself simple questions. Which option feels aligned? Which option creates quiet confidence? Which option reduces internal tension? Pay attention to body signals. Tight chest often signals fear. Relaxed breathing signals comfort. Physical awareness supports intuition. However, intuition must be balanced with logic. Blind impulse is not intuition. Combine emotional clarity with rational review. One helpful practice is reflective journaling. Write two options clearly. Close your eyes briefly. Imagine choosing the first option. Notice your emotional response. Then imagine choosing the second option. Notice the difference. Often, one choice feels lighter, less forced, more aligned. Trust grows through experience. Make small intuitive decisions daily. Observe outcomes. Notice how often your calm instinct was correct. Each successful decision strengthens trust. Confidence increases. Fear reduces. Intuition improves with self-awareness. When you know your values, decisions become easier. Clarify your core values: growth, freedom, stability, learning, connection. When a choice aligns with your values, it feels internally consistent. Conflict decreases. Trust also grows when you forgive past mistakes. If you constantly blame yourself, you will fear future decisions. Accept past errors as learning experiences. Release self-judgment. Decision-making is a skill. Skills improve with practice. Trust strengthens with action. Final reinforcement. Decision paralysis is not permanent. It is a habit. Habits can be changed. Overthinking blocks clarity by demanding perfection. It increases fear of regret. It reduces self-trust. Simplifying decisions reduces pressure. Limiting options increases focus. Time limits prevent delay. Clear criteria reduce confusion. Small actions build confidence. Trusting intuition strengthens internal authority. Calm signals guide direction. Balanced reasoning ensures stability. You do not need perfect certainty. You need enough clarity to move forward. Action creates information. Information builds confidence. Every decision teaches something. Even wrong choices build wisdom. Inaction teaches nothing. Choose progress over perfection. Choose movement over stagnation. Choose trust over fear. Confidence is built through decisions, not through endless thinking. Start small. Decide calmly. Act consistently. Adjust when needed. Your life moves forward when you decide. Clarity follows courage. Chapter 12. Emotional Resilience. Emotional resilience is the ability to stay steady during difficulty. It is not the absence of stress. It is not the absence of pain. It is the ability to recover quickly. It is the ability to respond wisely. Life will always bring challenges. Unexpected problems will appear. People will disappoint you. Plans will change suddenly. Pressure will increase at times. Without resilience, stress turns into overthinking. The mind begins to replay events. It searches for control. It imagines negative outcomes. It creates fear-based stories. With resilience, stress becomes manageable. Thoughts stay balanced. Emotions stay controlled. Decisions remain clear. Emotional resilience is not automatic. It is developed intentionally. It grows through awareness and practice. This chapter focuses on 3 key areas: how to respond to stress without overthinking, building patience and calm, techniques to reduce anxiety, how to respond to stress without overthinking. Stress is a natural response. It prepares the body for action. It increases alertness. It increases energy temporarily. But when stress is misunderstood, it becomes mental chaos. Overthinking begins. Fear increases. Clarity disappears. The first step in managing stress is recognition. Notice physical signals early: faster heartbeat, tight shoulders, shallow breathing, restlessness. These signals are warnings. They are not threats. They are reminders to pause. The pause is powerful. When stress appears, do not react immediately. Do not analyze instantly. Pause for 10 seconds. Take one slow breath. Then take another. This short pause interrupts panic. It creates mental space. The second step is separating fact from assumption. Ask yourself clearly, what actually happened? Not what might happen. Not what I fear. Only what is real. Overthinking adds imaginary layers. It predicts worst outcomes. It assumes negative judgment. It exaggerates consequences. Reduce the situation to facts. Facts are smaller than fear. Facts are manageable. The third step is choosing response over reaction. Reaction is automatic. Response is intentional. Reaction is emotional. Response is controlled. Before speaking or acting, ask one simple question. What is the calmest next step? This question shifts focus. It moves attention from fear to action. It builds emotional authority. The fourth step is limiting mental replay. After a stressful event, the mind wants to review repeatedly. It searches for mistakes. It searches for blame. Allow one review for learning. Extract the lesson. Then stop replaying. Repetition without learning increases anxiety. The fifth step is shifting to action. Overthinking grows in inactivity. Action reduces mental pressure. Even small action helps. Send the message. Make the call. Write the plan. Movement creates clarity. Stillness with worry creates stress. Responding calmly to stress requires practice. Each calm response strengthens resilience. Each pause builds control, building patience and calm. Patience is emotional strength. It is the ability to tolerate discomfort. It is the ability to wait without panic. Modern life reduces patience. Everything moves fast. Results are expected instantly. Delays feel frustrating. Impatience increases overthinking. The mind demands quick certainty. When answers delay, anxiety grows. Building patience begins with awareness. Notice moments of irritation. Notice small frustrations. Traffic. Slow internet. Waiting in line. These are training opportunities. Instead of reacting, practice calm breathing. Relax your shoulders. Observe surroundings quietly. Small moments build large strength. The second method is slowing your speech. When stressed, people speak quickly. Fast speech increases tension. Slow speech reduces pressure. Practice speaking slightly slower than usual. Pause between sentences. Breathe before answering. Calm speech creates calm thinking. The third method is practicing delayed response. When receiving criticism, do not respond instantly. Say, I will think about this. Give yourself time. Reflection builds maturity. The fourth method is acceptance. Not everything is controllable. Weather, other people's opinions, unexpected delays. Acceptance reduces resistance. Resistance increases stress. Acceptance brings stability. Repeat internally. I accept what I cannot control. This statement reduces emotional struggle. The fifth method is gratitude practice. Gratitude shifts focus from lack to abundance. Every night, write 3 simple things. Small achievements, supportive people, peaceful moments. Gratitude increases emotional balance. Balanced emotions increase patience. Calm is not weakness. It is strength under control. It allows clear thinking. It prevents emotional mistakes. Patience grows slowly. Do not expect instant mastery. Practice daily in small situations. Growth becomes visible over time. Techniques to reduce anxiety. Anxiety is future-focused fear. It imagines possible danger. It predicts uncertainty negatively. Reducing anxiety requires physical and mental techniques. The first technique is controlled breathing. Use the 4 to 4 method. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. Exhale for 4 seconds. Repeat 5 times. Slow breathing calms the nervous system. It signals safety to the brain. It reduces heart rate. It reduces tension. The second technique is body grounding. Place both feet firmly on the floor. Sit upright. Press your hands gently together. Focus on physical sensation. Grounding shifts attention to the present. Anxiety decreases when attention stabilizes. The third technique is limiting catastrophic thinking. When a fearful thought appears, ask two questions. What is the worst realistic outcome? How would I handle it? Usually, you can handle more than you imagine. This realization reduces fear intensity. The fourth technique is structured worry time. Instead of worrying all day, schedule 15 minutes. During that time, write all concerns. When worry appears outside this time, tell yourself calmly, I will think about this later. This method trains mental boundaries. Boundaries reduce constant anxiety. The fifth technique is reducing stimulation. Limit excessive news consumption. Reduce social media comparison. Avoid negative conversations. Protect mental energy. Your mind needs space to recover. The sixth technique is physical movement. Walking reduces stress hormones. Stretching relaxes muscles. Exercise improves mood naturally. Movement clears mental fog. It improves emotional balance. The seventh technique is improving sleep routine. Sleep stabilizes emotions. Lack of sleep increases anxiety. Set a regular bedtime. Reduce screen time before sleep. Create a calm night routine. Anxiety decreases when the body is rested. Strengthening long-term resilience. Resilience is built daily. It grows through repeated calm responses. Each time you handle stress wisely, you increase emotional strength. Each time you pause, instead of panic, you build internal authority. Resilience does not remove pain. It reduces suffering. It transforms reaction into reflection. To strengthen resilience long-term, maintain daily mental routines. Practice breathing exercises regularly. Journal emotional triggers weekly. Reflect on improvements monthly. Notice progress clearly. Celebrate small victories. Growth deserves recognition. Avoid self-criticism during setbacks. Setbacks are part of growth. Learn from them. Adjust calmly. Resilience grows through repetition, not through intensity. Small daily efforts create strong emotional stability. Final reinforcement. Emotional resilience protects your mind. It reduces overthinking. It increases clarity. It strengthens patience. Stress is unavoidable. Suffering is manageable. Response determines outcome. Pause before reacting. Separate fact from fear. Choose calm action. Build patience through daily practice. Accept what you cannot control. Slow your speech. Practice gratitude. Reduce anxiety through breathing. Ground your body. Limit catastrophic thinking. Protect your mental space. Resilience is a skill. Skills improve with practice. You are capable of growth. Calm is trainable. Patience is buildable. Strength is developable. Your mind can become steady. Your reactions can become controlled. Your thoughts can become balanced. Start with small steps. Practice daily. Trust the process. Emotional resilience is not a destination. It is a lifelong discipline, and you are building it now. Chapter 13. Sustaining clarity long-term. Mental clarity is not a one-time achievement. It is a daily practice. It is a long-term discipline. It requires awareness. It requires consistency. Many people improve temporarily. They learn techniques. They reduce overthinking. They feel stronger. But after some time, old habits return. Why does this happen? Because clarity was practiced briefly. It was not built into identity. Temporary effort creates temporary results. Long-term clarity requires long-term structure. This chapter focuses on 3 core areas. Habit formation for mental clarity. Avoiding relapse into old thought patterns. Long-term strategies to maintain control. Habit formation for mental clarity. Habits shape daily behavior. Daily behavior shapes mental state. Mental state shapes life quality. Clarity becomes stable when it becomes habitual, not when it depends on motivation. Motivation changes daily. Habits remain stable. Habit formation follows a simple pattern. Cue, routine, reward. A cue triggers behavior. The routine is the action. The reward reinforces repetition. To build mental clarity habits, you must design this loop intentionally. Start with small habits. Large changes fail quickly. Small actions repeat easily. First habit, daily mental reset. Cue, wake up in the morning. Routine, sit quietly for 5 minutes. Focus on breathing. Reward, sense of calm before the day begins. Second habit, thought awareness check. Cue, before lunch. Routine, ask yourself, what am I thinking right now? Observe without judgment. Reward, mental clarity and reset. Third habit, evening reflection. Cue, before sleeping. Routine, write one lesson from the day. Write one thing handled well. Reward, sense of progress. These small habits strengthen awareness daily. Awareness prevents mental chaos. Another important habit is controlled information intake. Your mind absorbs what you consume. Negative news increases stress. Constant comparison increases insecurity. Digital overload reduces focus. Set boundaries for media use. Limit unnecessary scrolling. Choose educational content. Protect mental space intentionally. Clarity grows in quiet environments. Create daily quiet time. Even 10 minutes helps. Silence strengthens thinking quality. Physical habits also affect clarity. Sleep improves emotional regulation. Hydration supports brain function. Exercise reduces stress hormones. Nutrition stabilizes energy levels. Mental clarity is connected to physical care. Neglecting the body weakens the mind. Another powerful habit is single tasking. Multitasking reduces focus. It increases mental fatigue. It creates scattered attention. Practice focusing on one task at a time. Complete it fully. Then move to the next. This builds concentration strength. Repetition creates identity change. When you practice clarity daily, you begin to see yourself differently. You see yourself as disciplined, as controlled, as stable. Identity-based habits last longer. Instead of saying, I want to think clearly, say, I am a person who protects mental clarity. Identity influences action strongly. Action reinforces identity. Habit formation requires patience. Missing one day is normal. Missing repeatedly creates decline. Return quickly after disruption. Consistency matters more than intensity. 5 minutes daily is stronger than 1 hour weekly. Clarity grows slowly, but it grows steadily when habits are stable. Avoiding relapse into old thought patterns. Relapse is natural. Old patterns feel familiar. The brain prefers familiarity, even if it is unhealthy. When stress increases, the mind returns to old coping methods. Overthinking may reappear. Self-doubt may increase. Relapse does not mean failure. It means awareness is needed again. The first step to avoid relapse is early detection. Notice warning signs. Increased mental replay. Sleep disturbance. Irritability. Negative self-talk. These signs appear before full relapse. Recognize them quickly. Respond immediately. The second step is returning to basics. When clarity weakens, do not search for complex solutions. Return to simple routines. Breathing exercises. Journaling. Reduced stimulation. Basics rebuild stability. The third step is reducing self-criticism. When old patterns return, avoid harsh judgment. Self-criticism increases stress. Stress increases overthinking. Instead say, I notice the pattern. I am correcting it. Calm correction strengthens discipline. The fourth step is stress management. High stress increases relapse risk. Manage workload realistically. Take short breaks. Communicate boundaries clearly. Unmanaged stress overwhelms mental systems. The fifth step is accountability. Share your growth goals with a trusted person. Discuss progress occasionally. External support increases commitment. The sixth step is reviewing progress monthly. Look back at previous weeks. Notice improvement areas. Notice reduced overthinking moments. Celebrate growth consciously. Progress review builds motivation. The seventh step is preparing for difficult periods. Life will bring intense phases. Exams, work pressure, family challenges. During these times, increase self-care intentionally. Reduce optional stressors. Protect mental energy strongly. Preparation reduces relapse severity. The final step is remembering your purpose. Why did you begin this journey? To reduce stress, to build confidence, to live peacefully. Reconnect with this purpose often. Purpose strengthens discipline. Relapse prevention is not about perfection. It is about quick recovery. The faster you return to clarity habits, the stronger your resilience becomes. Long-term strategies to maintain control. Long-term mental control requires strategy, not temporary motivation. The first strategy is continuous learning. Read about psychology. Learn about emotional intelligence. Study stress management techniques. Growth keeps the mind sharp. The second strategy is environment design. Your environment shapes behavior. Keep your workspace organized. Reduce unnecessary clutter. Create a calm physical space. A clean space supports clear thinking. The third strategy is value alignment. Decisions create stress when misaligned with values. Clarify what matters most. Integrity, growth, family, health. When actions align with values, mental conflict reduces. Clarity increases naturally. The fourth strategy is controlled ambition. Ambition is positive, but unrealistic expectations create pressure. Set achievable goals. Break them into small steps. Progress builds confidence. The fifth strategy is emotional regulation training. Practice responding calmly to small problems. Traffic delays, minor criticism, unexpected changes. Small emotional control builds large resilience. The sixth strategy is mental detox periods. Take occasional breaks from digital overload. Spend time in nature. Engage in quiet reflection. Mental detox restores clarity. The seventh strategy is gratitude and reflection. Weekly reflection strengthens awareness. Ask yourself, what did I handle well this week? Where can I improve calmly? Reflection prevents unconscious drifting. The eighth strategy is balancing thinking and action. Thinking is necessary, but excessive thinking blocks progress. Adopt a rule. After reasonable analysis, act. Action builds clarity faster than rumination. The ninth strategy is protecting sleep consistently. Sleep stabilizes emotions. It improves cognitive function. Long-term sleep neglect weakens clarity. The 10th strategy is long-term perspective. Temporary problems feel intense, but most situations are short-lived. Ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years? Perspective reduces emotional intensity. Long-term control is not rigid. It is flexible stability. You adjust when necessary. You recover when disturbed. You maintain core discipline. Mental clarity becomes lifestyle, not temporary effort. Final reinforcement. Sustaining clarity requires habits. Habits require consistency. Consistency requires discipline. Small daily routines protect mental balance. Awareness prevents relapse. Quick correction strengthens resilience. Long-term strategies create stability. Environment design supports focus. Value alignment reduces conflict. Reflection maintains direction. You will face challenges again. Stress will return at times. But you are not the same person now. You have tools. You have structure. You have awareness. Clarity is not fragile. It becomes strong with practice. Each day you choose discipline. You strengthen your mind. Old patterns may knock at the door, but you control whether they enter. Choose calm response. Choose structure habits. Choose conscious living. Mental clarity is sustainable when protected daily, when reinforced weekly, when valued long-term. This is not temporary change. This is identity transformation. You are building a controlled mind. You are building emotional stability. You are building lifelong clarity. Continue the discipline. Protect your mental space. Trust your growth. Your clarity is now your responsibility and your strength. Chapter 14. Living authentically and confidently. Living authentically means living truthfully. It means acting in alignment with your values. It means thinking clearly without constant fear. It means choosing your direction consciously. Confidence is not loud behavior. It is quiet self-trust. It is internal stability. It is calm decision-making. It is freedom from mental chaos. Many people live reactively. They adjust constantly to others' expectations. They overthink opinions. They fear judgment. They suppress their true voice. This creates mental clutter. Clutter drains energy. Clutter blocks clarity. Clutter weakens identity. Living authentically requires courage, but it creates peace. This final chapter focuses on 3 areas: reclaiming your time and energy, acting without fear of judgment, creating a life free from mental clutter. Reclaiming your time and energy. Time is your most valuable resource. Energy is your most limited resource. When both are wasted, clarity disappears. Overthinking consumes time. People-pleasing consumes energy. Unnecessary worry drains focus. Constant comparison weakens motivation. To live authentically, you must protect your time. First, evaluate your daily activities. Ask yourself clearly, does this activity align with my goals? Does this conversation add value? Does this commitment support my growth? If the answer is no repeatedly, it is time to reconsider. Reclaiming time begins with boundaries. Boundaries are not selfish. They are protective tools. Learn to say no politely. You do not need long explanations. You do not need guilt. Simple responses are enough. For example, I cannot commit to this right now. I need to focus on other priorities. Clear boundaries protect mental energy. Second, reduce unnecessary obligations. Many commitments are optional. Some are accepted out of fear. Some are accepted to avoid discomfort. But every yes requires energy. Choose wisely. Third, create focused time blocks. Schedule periods without distraction. Turn off notifications. Close unnecessary tabs. Work with full attention. Focused work reduces mental clutter. It increases efficiency. It creates satisfaction. Fourth, protect emotional energy. Avoid constant exposure to negativity. Limit interactions that drain you. Reduce involvement in gossip. Protect your inner calm intentionally. Emotional energy is limited daily. Spend it on growth. Spend it on meaningful goals. Spend it on supportive relationships. Fifth, practice intentional rest. Rest is not laziness. Rest restores clarity. Rest strengthens resilience. Schedule rest consciously. Disconnect from work mentally. Engage in hobbies. Spend time in nature. Rest increases long-term productivity. Reclaiming time and energy builds internal respect. You begin to value yourself. You begin to prioritize mental peace. When time is used intentionally, life feels organized. Stress reduces. Clarity strengthens. Acting without fear of judgment. Fear of judgment is powerful. It influences decisions silently. It shapes behavior unconsciously. You may change your opinion to fit in. You may stay silent to avoid criticism. You may delay action to avoid failure. But constant fear blocks authenticity. It prevents self-expression. It limits potential. Understand one truth clearly. People are focused on themselves. They think about their own problems. Their attention is temporary. Judgment is often imagined, even when real. It does not define your worth. To act without fear. Start by clarifying your values. When values are clear, external opinions lose power. If you know what matters to you, criticism becomes less threatening. Second, separate identity from mistakes. You may fail. You may receive criticism. But failure is behavior. It is not identity. When identity remains stable, judgment loses intensity. Third, practice small acts of courage. Speak your opinion calmly. Share your ideas openly. Express disagreement respectfully. Take small risks. Each courageous action builds confidence. Fourth, reframe criticism. Instead of asking, "What will they think?" ask, "Is this aligned with my values?" Shift focus from approval to alignment. Fifth, accept discomfort. Fear of judgment creates temporary discomfort. Growth also creates discomfort. Choose growth discomfort over regret discomfort. Regret lasts longer than criticism. Sixth, limit comparison. Comparison increases insecurity. Social media exaggerates perfection. Most people show highlights only. Reduce exposure intentionally. Focus on your path. Your timeline is unique. Seventh, build internal validation. Acknowledge your effort daily. Recognize progress. Celebrate small achievements. When internal validation increases, external approval becomes less necessary. Acting confidently does not mean ignoring feedback. Constructive feedback is valuable, but destructive judgment should not control you. Evaluate feedback logically. Accept what helps growth. Ignore what harms peace. Confidence grows through repeated action, not through waiting for fear to disappear. Fear reduces after action. Authentic living requires visible courage, but internal freedom is worth the effort. Creating a life free from mental clutter. Mental clutter is constant noise. It is unfinished thoughts. It is unresolved emotions. It is unnecessary worry. It is digital overload. Clutter reduces focus. It drains creativity. It increases anxiety. Creating a clear life requires intentional design. First, simplify commitments. Too many goals create confusion. Choose fewer priorities. Focus deeply. Complete fully. Second, organize physical space. Cluttered environment increases mental noise. Clean your workspace regularly. Keep only essential items visible. Physical order supports mental order. Third, complete open loops. Unfinished tasks occupy mental space. Write a list of pending actions. Complete small tasks quickly. Schedule larger ones clearly. Completion creates mental relief. Fourth, practice emotional release. Do not store unresolved resentment. Have honest conversations when necessary. Write feelings in a journal. Forgive where possible. Emotional weight increases mental clutter. Release creates freedom. Fifth, create digital discipline. Limit notifications. Organize files. Unsubscribe from unnecessary emails. Delete unused applications. Digital simplicity increases focus. Sixth, build a morning clarity ritual. Wake up without rushing immediately. Sit quietly. Set one clear intention for the day. Intentional mornings create structured days. Seventh, practice weekly reflection. Review goals. Adjust plans calmly. Remove unnecessary tasks. Realign with values. Reflection prevents mental accumulation. Eighth, reduce decision fatigue. Simplify routine choices. Plan meals in advance. Prepare clothes ahead of time. Create structured schedules. Fewer daily decisions preserve energy. Ninth, focus on presence. When working, work fully. When resting, rest fully. When talking, listen fully. Divided attention increases clutter. Presence reduces it. 10th, protect long-term vision. Have a clear direction. It does not need perfection, but it needs clarity. When direction is clear, distractions lose power. Mental clutter reduces gradually. It requires consistent organization. It requires conscious elimination. Freedom grows when noise decreases. Final reinforcement. Living authentically is a decision. Confidence is a practice. Clarity is a discipline. Reclaim your time. Protect your energy. Set clear boundaries. Act with courage. Reduce fear of judgment. Align with your values. Simplify your life. Remove mental clutter. Focus on what matters. You have learned awareness. You have learned discipline. You have learned emotional control. You have learned clarity strategies. Now, it is time to live them. Do not return to unconscious patterns. Do not surrender to unnecessary fear. Do not allow mental noise to control you. Choose intentional living. Choose calm confidence. Choose authentic expression. Your life becomes peaceful. When your mind becomes organized, your confidence grows. When your actions align with truth, you are capable of steady growth. You are capable of calm decisions. You are capable of authentic living. This journey was about reducing overthinking, but it became deeper. It became about identity. It became about clarity. It became about freedom. Now live clearly. Act confidently. Protect your mental peace. Your mind is no longer your enemy. It is your disciplined ally. And your life is now yours to lead.